Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in to another video. We are in the garage with my 2023 Frontier build here because we've got something sent out to us for the Frontier from the guys over at J&L Oil Separators. And basically what we're going to install is exactly what it sounds like. They sent us out an oil separator for the truck. Now, I've got this taken apart a little bit just to show you what's what, but basically in your box you will get a little pamphlet, tells you a little bit about them, and of course made in the USA, so you know it's good quality. They send you a little part sheet here with a scan or a QR code you can scan. This for the Frontier, if you're looking, part number 3113P. You can scan this, it'll take you to their version of the YouTube video like you're watching now on how to install this thing and all that. Super simple. Other stuff you get in the box, of course, they send out a little sticker. They've got other stickers. They send a few. You can put down the mileage of when you've checked or emptied this thing previously. So in case you forget, you don't want this thing filling right up and pumping oil into your engine. You don't want that, so keep in mind you will have to empty it out once in a while. Also in the package, you get your hardware. This part is the mount. You'll see that in a minute. And all the hardware you need to install this. It's super simple. They sent me out a couple little beer or can cozies. And then I've got it taken apart because there's a couple different versions of this thing that I want to show you. So basically, this is the top of your catch can. You've got your filter in there. You've got your two lines coming off of the cap. So now you might be wondering, well, what are these two parts? Normally, if you live in a warmer climate, you might not need the second part, but all this is the catch portion of your catch can. So you can see this is threaded. Keep in mind they all have the nice thick rubber washer around, so once you tighten it up it will be sealed. You don't have to go crazy on these things. Make it hand tight. Give it just a little, not even a quarter turn, just make it snug, and it's going to catch everything. It's not going to leak and you're not going to lose it. But I found on previous vehicles, if you tighten these up too much, it can be a pain to get them back off. So don't go too crazy. You don't have to hulk it down. Now, what this portion is if you live in a colder climate, and especially if you do longer intervals between oil changes, or not necessarily an oil change, but maybe you empty this thing out at different times, this is their little expander. So they claim that when it's a colder climate, like I'm up in Canada, we don't get super cold in the part where I'm living, but if you do, this thing's going to fill up a lot quicker than any normal vehicle would, especially in a warmer climate. So basically what this is, and now like I said, kind of hard to do with one hand, but again, you can see it's got the washer on there. These just thread together like so. And now you kind of have like a double capacity catch can. So this, again, you don't need to necessarily have that. Even if you're in a colder climate, you can get the normal one and just empty this out more often. But if you're a person that maybe forgets, or like I said, you go a long time without checking these things, you now have double the capacity. And then it just threads the same, like I showed here, right back onto the top of this thing. So as easy as that. Now, to get this on, we're going to open up our package, pop the hood, and then I'll show you how easy it is to get this on the truck itself. All right, so once you open the package with your hardware in it, first thing you need is the two little screws. They are Phillips head. And basically, if you look, the mounting bracket has 4 holes on the one side with their logo on there as well. Now for the Frontier, orientation-wise, because you've got 2 holes on the top of the cap there, and basically those 2 little screws are going to screw into those holes and mount your mounting bracket to the top of this thing. So like I've mentioned, for the Frontier, if you're doing it on this vehicle, you want it to sit like this with the hoses pointing outwards, and then you can see the 2 holes will line up top and bottom. Now, this is kind of like a multi-functional bracket because like I mentioned, they don't make this only for the Frontier. They make it for a ton of different vehicles. So this will mount, and then it kind of gives you a pivot point to the left and right. And then the holes, depending which way your hoses and everything are orientated on whichever vehicle you're doing this on, you've got different options to mount it up. But as I said, for the Frontier, you want to look at it like this, the logo facing you, and then this logo goes the same way, and screw it on there. So then when you're done, it should look just like that. And again, don't go crazy torquing these things down. Get them in, make them snug, and you'll have no worries. All right, now moving under the hood. Don't worry, some of these wires are extra. If you're new to the channel, we got other stuff wired in here connected to my aux beam panel, but your oil separator is going to sit right here. So all you got to do to start anyways is come over here, passenger side, and now if you look up here, you can come and take a look in here, you can see there's a little push pin right there. You want to get a flathead screwdriver or a clip removal tool if you got one, and pop that out, because that is where your mount is going to mount to. And then the other thing you got to do, now if you're looking like this, you're looking for the clamp right here. Get a pair of pliers, squeeze that sucker. You can't do this by hand, they are way too strong. Slide that down the hose and wiggle this out, because that is where your new oil separator is going to attach to the vehicle. All right, so the easiest way to get these little clips out is get a flathead screwdriver. You can see there's a notch kind of here, 3 sides. Get your screwdriver in there, just wiggle it. I got a way too big of a screwdriver, but pop it in there like that. And now you can see it's kind of popped up. If the camera will focus, it's popped up like that. So then you can get your finger in there, just wiggle it, and she pops right out. It just looks like that. So again, when you pull it back, it now allows the little arms there to flex in, and you can pull it out. And then when you put these in and that pushes up in there, then it stops those from being able to close up and pull itself out. So that's as easy as those work. Again, get your screwdriver in one of the little notches there, pop it up, and you won't need this anymore. So you can get rid of it or save it in case you lose another clip. All right, so your next step will be grabbing your little washer. Washer will go on top, and it fits perfectly in the little cutout, just like so, where that clip was. And then get your bolt, and keep in mind, you can see how they got the little serrated edge on the top. The nut has that as well. It's going to help you to not only tighten it, but it's going to stop it from backing off, so you don't have to worry about this thing vibrating and falling off one day eventually. So just drop the bolt down like that, and you can see it pops out right under there. All right, now for removing the hose clamp, like I said, grab yourself a pair of pliers. You just gotta get one side on each, give it a squeeze, you can see, and then keep it pinched and just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Slide it out of the way, and then you'll be able to pull that hose straight out. It may be a little bit tight, you might have to wobble it a little bit, but just work at it a bit, it'll come off. So again, grab it, just kind of back and forth. It is in there a lot further than it looks. And now that that's out of the way, we will grab our oil separator and bolt it on with the mount. All right, so once you got it sitting in there, and keep in mind, like I said, the nut has those threads as well, or the teeth on it, so it'll grip. You'll probably only need either one wrench or ratchet to tighten this up. You don't need to be on top and bottom. Most important part, it always sucks when you forget to put the hose clamp on. So when you're looking at this now, the left-hand side, closest to the window, gets your hose clamp. So slide that on before you forget. Because now, because this is loose, we can still play with it a little bit. This hose, now because it's dry, it can be a pain to get on there sometimes. You might have to fight with it a bit. We'll see. Oh no, it's going on pretty easy. I spoke too soon. Just like that, get it all the way on there, And then this hose clamp, whether you have a nut driver or a flathead screwdriver, tighten it down. Make sure you get it far enough up that it's past the little barb. I forgot to show you that before we put it on, but it's similar to this side. You got the little barb here where it threads out. When you put the clamp on, you want it to be between the face on the end and that barb. So when it pinches, it can no longer slide off. So now that that's on, this portion goes onto the hose that you removed. So let me switch hands here. So this will go into there, push it. Oh, it goes together nice and easy, which is nice. That never seems to happen for videos, but we're lucking out today. So that'll go on there just like that. And then you use your stock clamp. And again, you can see where this one's been sitting. So just pull it up and put it back in the same spot. But as for your hose clamp and the fresh hose, like I mentioned, get it all the way up so it butts up against the plastic here. Put this thing, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch, not even away. Crank her down, and then this thing is installed. Right, so there we go. You have your hose clamp tightened, your other clamp put back where it was sitting. That's all snug. Last thing you got to do, now the nut and bolt is a 10 mil. So just get your ratchet on the top. And like I mentioned, I started this a little bit already just because I needed 2 hands to get it going. But because the nut and the bolt both had those serrated teeth on it, you don't have to necessarily have a wrench on the bottom. As you can see here, kind of get this thing where you want it to sit. So of course we have the extension, so it's a little bit deeper down. If you didn't, it would only sit up to here and you'd be just over your fuse box here. But because we have the extension, mine goes further down. So you want to turn it, at least in my case, just slightly so it's not touching anything. Just will stop any rattling and knocking that could possibly happen under the hood. So get it there, grab your ratchet, crank it down. Now keep in mind, this is only plastic. Do not go crazy on this thing. Just, I'm using like 1 finger. Just till it's snug, it's good enough. Those serrated teeth are going to work to help keep it in place. It's not going to go anywhere, and you don't want to crack the plastic up top, because not only will you need to replace the whole entire thing, but then your catch can here is going to fall off. So there you go, guys. That is as simple as it is to install this thing. If you got a couple hand tools, Phillips screwdriver, 10 mil, and a pair of pliers, you can get this done in like 2 minutes in your own garage. The mount is solid. It's not going to go anywhere. Again, if you want the extension portion to possibly hold more oil, you could leave this thing in here for months and not worry about it overflowing. If you have just the middle one, I recommend checking it and dumping it out with every oil change. Some people do it more often. Some people do it every second oil change. But you will find this thing collecting quite a bit of oil. So again, when you put this together, just hand tight. The rubber gaskets in there will seal it nice. It's not going to let anything in or out. Hose clamps, don't go too crazy. The one's just the pair of pliers, that will have its own tension, but with the other hose clamp, you don't have to go nuts. Just let it bite down on the rubber a bit and it's not going to go anywhere. Just keep it behind the barb. And then as for the top, the 2 bolts here with the Phillips, like I mentioned, snug them down, just hand tight. It's just to hold this up. And there you go. You're looking good. It'll keep your engine a little bit cleaner. Won't let all that oil blow by, get sucked back up and start plugging up the interior or the inside of your motor. Nobody wants that. And for those of you who don't think these things are really necessary, stay tuned because we're going to do an update video. I'll drive for say 3, 4, maybe 5 months. We'll open this thing up and see how much it's collecting, because if it's collecting oil, anything that ends up here into this catch can would have ended up back into your motor. So again, if you want to see that, make sure to like and subscribe. Big shout out to the guys in J&L for sending this out. Super simple, it works, it looks good. And another note that I forgot to mention, I got black. You can also get it in the aluminum. So if you don't want it painted black, it's just going to come silver or stainless, whatever you want to call it. And you can have it under. Personally, I think it looks better in black. It matches everything else under the engine other than the dust and dirt everywhere. But give it a couple more days and we'll get this thing coated as well. So again, like and subscribe. I will drop in the description and in the comments the link to this thing if you want to pick up your own. And if you're watching this vehicle or this video and you're installing this on another vehicle, it's very similar to this. They have it for a bunch. You can even get just the catch can and a longer hose and make your own. If they don't have it for your vehicle, they'll still send you out the catch can, and you just got to build it yourself basically. So lots of cool options. Again, big shout out to those guys. Like and subscribe. Hopefully this video helped you out. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.